Hello and welcome to a Morrowind Community news video. And this is sort of a new idea that I've been just tinkering around with, and basically the concept here is to have a monthly video series where we go over some of the headlines, community news, and various stats and all that for each month. Essentially an overview of the community's activity and major announcements for what happened each month, since there's a lot going on in the community right now. And sometimes, you might be away for a month or two, and might want to know what you've been missing out on. Though I don't know if we'll, keep doing these or not. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments below. But in the meantime, we're going to go over some of the big news announcements for August 2018. And obviously, the major headline here is that the Morrowind Community has surpassed over 500 new mod releases so far in 2018. In fact, by the end of August, we had reached about 521 new mod releases so far in 2018. Not counting major updates like the Doors of Oblivion and Tower Rebuild's Old Ebonheart. Now, doubtless, you've already seen the video from a week or so ago when I announced this, and perhaps, I let my excitement just get the better of me, but it's, really exciting news. Currently, the community is on track to hit over 700 new mod releases by the end of the year for the first time since about 2011. And already, there's been about 18 or 19 new mod releases so far in September, bringing the total so far to about 540 new mods for 2018. So, I'd say things are definitely looking pretty great for the community right now. And in other related news, August had about 81 total new mod releases, making it the third most productive month for the community so far in 2018, behind May and June. Now, in comparison to past months, there were about 60 new mods released in July, and 87 new mods released in June, showing an overall, increase in activity from last month. And just compared to past years, August 2016 had only 28 new mod releases, while August 2017 had only 57 new mod releases, so this is, in fact, the most productive August on record for as far back as Morrowind Mining Showcases has, been keeping track of monthly releases, and which is also just really exciting news just by itself. Now, just speaking of mod releases, MWSE mods took the Nexus by storm in August, with about 15 new MWSE mods getting released, a rather sizable fraction of the total 81 new mod releases in August. In comparison, only about 3 or 4 OpenMW mods were released during the same time period. And these new MWSE mods included all sorts of new gameplay features, from tooltips to creatures and hostile NPCs pursuing you through load doors and across cells, to a new death respawning mod, new types of equipment requirements and flavor text, and just much more besides. Most of these new MWSE mods take advantage of the MWSE 2.1 nightly development build, which adds Lewis scripting abilities, and without question, the new features added by MWSE are pretty exciting for the Morrowind modding community. And doubtless, we'll see even more impressive new mods that just wouldn't have been, possible before come out later this year. And for a full list of MWSE mods, you'll find a link to Lucifer's mod list down below, which has a nearly complete compilation of MWSE mods, download links and descriptions about what each one does. Now, there were especially a lot of tooltip and flavor text mods released in August, with a ton of MWSE mods adding new information like the weight to gold ratio of an item, so you'll know whether or not something is worth picking up. Flavor text mods that add detailed descriptions of ingredients and artifacts to their tooltips, so that when you hover over them, you can actually see that information, and much more besides. Moving on though, other news for August includes a new update and release from Province Cyrodiil, fixing a few bugs with the Stirk release, and bringing everything up to date with the current release of Tower data. But there's also been some new things added, with a few new things for you to discover in some of the dungeons on Stirk, though the mainland still remains, a pretty long ways off, with progress still ongoing with the City of Anvil and of course, the Northern Gold Coast, including the City of Such and all that. But speaking of major landmass mods, August also saw the release of Fablewind by Tell Shadow, a particularly massive new mod that seeks to add the Realm of Albion from the Fable game series to the world of Morrowind. And now we've done a fair bit of promoting of Fablewind on the channel already, but for those of you who've somehow missed it, The mod currently adds several different locations and zones from the Fable game series to Morrowind, as well as 2 cities, the towns of Bowerstone and Bright Lodge. There's also a number of new dungeons with plenty of hostile opponents for you to face, lots of little hidden areas, bits of loot, and really much more. Though it's still very much in development, Fablewind is quite possibly the most exciting new Landmass project to come out this year, with new updates coming out every week, adding new things to see and do. I'm also happy to report that the dialogue issues that were plaguing the 1.9 release have been resolved with the latest Fablewind update. And anyway, this is just a really amazing new project and well worth your time to, check out or help out with if you so desire. Now also, just one more headline to note here, there was an interview with yours truly published on the Nexus in about mid-August. Now I didn't really, advertise this much, but the Nexus staff asked me for an interview back in June to talk about the Morrowind Community, our mod competitions, and a bunch of other stuff. And if you'd like to see me just ramble on and on for my typically overly long answers, you'll find a link to the Nexus interview down below. Now, the rest of our headlines here are actually from July, but there were a lot of major updates at the tail end of July, including Terry Build's Old Ebonheart release, and Morrowind 4.71 release on July 31st. Now, the big news here with Terry Build is, of course, a new mainland release, with the eastern banks of the Antheron and the city of Old Ebonheart getting released as part of TR Main, including some 50 plus new quests to do and much more. And Morrowind Birth has added a few new locations and a ton of changes as always. And there was also a new OpenMW 0.44 release in late July as well, including a number of bug fixes and some new features like a spell effect search bar, among other things. Just check out their OpenMW 0.44 commentary video. Those are always pretty fun to listen to, and they do a much better job of explaining what's new than I possibly ever could. And anyway, I think that about wraps up everything for August. Obviously, a lot happened last month, and don't forget that Morrowind Modding Madness, our team-based modding competition, has also been announced. You can register a team today, and you have until October 1st to register for the event. And for more information, check out our official thread on the Nexus forums. And if you need help finding a team, stop by the Morrowind Modding Community and Morrowind Modding Madness Discords. And that's really about everything, depending on whether this is something you want, to see more of. We might be back in October with an overview of the highlights for September, so until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.